let's talk about the 2026 Ford Ranger. Not just a refresh, not just another facelift. What we're looking at here is a serious evolution. Ford didn't just tweak the formula, they went back to the drawing board in some key areas, and the result is a mid-size truck that's aiming to punch way above its weight. And yeah, it's doing just that. Now before we dive in, let's clear something up. If you're expecting the same Ranger you saw 5 years ago, or even the 2023 model, forget that. This is a whole different animal. We're talking about a truck that's more refined, more powerful, more tech-forward and still rugged enough to handle everything from job sites to weekend trails. The 2026 Ranger is clearly designed for versatility, but let's not mistake versatility for compromise. Ford's walking a tightrope here, and somehow, they're doing it with style. So let's start with the heart of the truck, the powertrain. You've got multiple options depending on trim and region, but let's focus on the North American lineup first. The base model? A turbocharged 2.3-liter EcoBoost inline-4. Sounds familiar? Sure, it's a carryover, but it's been refined. You're getting 310 horsepower and 400 pounds-to-feet of torque now, which is up from the outgoing model. It's punchy, it's smooth, and it feels stronger throughout the rev range. More importantly, it doesn't feel like a base engine. In fact, unless you're hauling heavy loads or towing something significant, this engine might be all you really need. Then there's the twin-turbo 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6, the engine that's causing a stir. This is the same power plant used in the Bronco and F-150, and now it's under the Ranger's hood. With 330 horsepower and 415 pounds-to-feet of torque, this engine transforms the Ranger into a genuine performer. Acceleration? Snappy. Overtaking? Effortless. Off-road? More than capable. And yet, it's still civilized enough for everyday driving. And for those wondering, yes, the Ranger Raptor is back, and it's meaner than ever. Packing a 3.0-liter EcoBoost V6 that's been dialed up to 405 horsepower and 430 pounds-to-feet of torque, it's not just a desert runner, it's a statement. In terms of raw performance, this thing borders on ridiculous, and we mean that in the best way possible. 0 to 60 in under 5.5 seconds in a mid-size truck. Wild. And yet, it's not just about speed. The Ranger Raptor's suspension setup is the real story. Fox-Liv valve dampers, long travel suspension, reinforced frame, and full-time 4WD. It's not just pretending to be a Baja runner. It is one. Now let's talk design. Ford didn't go crazy with a revolutionary look, and honestly, that's a good thing. The 2026 Ranger builds on the tough, squared-off aesthetic from the previous model, but tightens everything up. The front fascia is bolder, with C-clamp LED headlights and a grille that screams F-Series inspiration. The stance is wider by over 2 inches and you can feel it on the road. It's planted. Stable. Confident. Even the rear end feels more purposeful, with redesigned taillights and a stamped tailgate that feels substantial. Inside? This is where the Ranger really surprises. We're talking about a cabin that feels like it belongs in a vehicle twice the price. Soft touch materials, solid switchgear, and Ford's new Sync 4A infotainment system with either a standard 10.1-inch touchscreen or an optional 12-inch vertical unit. The digital gauge cluster is crisp and customizable, giving you a clear view of everything from navigation to off-road telemetry. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto? Wireless, of course. And Ford didn't forget about utility either. The rear seats flip up for storage. You've got built-in under-seat compartments. The bed now offers better tie-down points, a 400-watt power outlet, and a built-in ruler and clamp system for DIY projects. These are small touches, but they matter, especially to the kind of buyer Ford's targeting here. On the road, the new Ranger is a revelation. It rides smoother than before, noticeably smoother. That wider track and revised suspension geometry have seriously improved on-road manners. It absorbs bumps with confidence and feels composed through corners in a way midsize trucks rarely do. Body roll is minimal, steering is precise, and even on all-terrain tires, it's remarkably quiet. For daily driving, this is a truck you won't mind commuting in. Off-road, the base Ranger holds its own with selectable drive modes, decent ground clearance, and a locking rear differential on higher trims. But it's the Tremor and Raptor trims where the Ranger really flexes. We took the Tremor through a mix of dirt trails, rocks, and shallow water crossings. The suspension soaked it all up without complaint, and the low-end torque made crawling feel effortless. The Raptor, though? That's where things get wild. High-speed runs over loose terrain, big whoops, and steep climbs. The Raptor didn't flinch. It's built for this, and it shows. Towing capacity? Up to 7,500 pounds with the EcoBoost 4-cylinder and the torque package. Payload maxes out just over 1,800 pounds. That puts it right in line or slightly ahead of competitors like the Toyota Tacoma and Chevy Colorado. And while we're on that subject, let's compare for a second. The 2026 Ranger has its work cut out. The new Tacoma is sharp hybrid options, serious off-road cred, and Toyota reliability. The Colorado? Also much improved, especially the ZR2 variant. But where the Ranger pulls ahead is in refinement and powertrain options. It's more comfortable than the Tacoma. It's more polished than the Colorado. And the Ranger Raptor, frankly, doesn't have a direct competitor unless you're looking at full-sized trucks. But Ford knows the midsize segment is about more than just power and tech. It's about how a truck fits into your life. The new Ranger nails that balance. Need a daily driver? It's comfortable, quiet, and loaded with features. Need a work truck? It tows, hauls, and offers smart bed features. Want a weekend warrior? Go Tremor or Raptor, and you're set. Fuel economy is what you'd expect. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost gets you around 22 miles per gallon combined, while the V6 drops that a bit to around 19. The Raptor? You're looking at closer to 16 combined, but again that's not why you're buying it. Safety features are plentiful, with Ford's Co-Pilot 360 suite standard on most trims. That includes lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking, rear cross-traffic alert, and adaptive cruise control. Higher trims even offer a 360-degree camera system and trail turn assist for tight off-road maneuvers. So who's the 2026 Ranger for? It's for the buyer who wants more from a mid-size truck: more comfort, more tech, more performance. Whether you're upgrading from an older Ranger, downsizing from a full-size, or cross-shopping with Toyota and Chevy, the new Ranger makes a compelling case. And look, we're not saying it's perfect. Some trims get pricey, especially the Raptor, which creeps into full-size territory cost-wise. And we'd like to see Ford offer a hybrid or electric option down the line, something competitors like Toyota and even Hyundai are starting to dabble in. But overall, the 2026 Ranger is the most complete midsize truck Ford has ever made. It's tough. It's smart. And it finally feels like a truck designed with both the weekend warrior and the Monday through Friday hauler in mind. It's not just about getting from point A to B anymore. It's about how you get there and what you can do once you arrive. If you're in the market for a midsize truck right now, you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to check out the new Ranger. Drive it. Feel the difference. Because Ford's not playing catch-up anymore. They're leading. So that's the 2026 Ford Ranger from base XL to the beastly Raptor. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is this the truck that finally balances capability with comfort? Or are you still waiting for something more radical? Either way, the midsize game just got way more interesting. Thanks for tuning in to Redesign Garage, where we break down machines, not just spec sheets. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into what's next on 4 Wheels. Catch you in the next one.